Hey everybody, welcome to the Mom Pod. I am Brooke,
Sam.
and today we decided we're going to talk about our breastfeeding experiences. How fun. I
Oh
feel like
man,
it's such like a it can be a touchy topic,
it definitely
no?
can be, depending on your experience, but I feel like most of the
Yeah.
time I hear positive things about it,
Well,
which,
yeah, I feel like I hear mostly positive, but I feel like
Mhm.
that is because those who have like a harder time with it, they tend to not really involve themselves in the conversations because it is a really touchy topic. I mean, you and I both had, you know, not the best, like,
right.
experiences with it. Like, I had a really good experience to start out with, and then it ended on, like, a really bad note, and I just remember kind of falling back on you for that conversation because of how
Y-
your experience went. So,
Yeah.
um and I remember you saying too, like, you never really answered when the rest of us were talking
Mhm.
about our experience, like, our breastfeeding journeys, because it was touchy for you, it was hard for you to really talk about.
It definitely took a long time to want to talk about it because I feel like as
Yeah,
moms, it's drilled into our brains of this is the experience you're supposed to have. It's supposed to be beautiful.
right.
You're supposed to feel connected. And the second that wasn't
Yeah.
working for me, I felt like I was not doing my job as a mom. And when they just drill
Yeah.
it at you in the hospital, it makes it so much worse.
Yeah. It's like not only that, but it's also hardwired into our brains that this
Right.
is we're supposed to be able to feed our babies. And when your body, for lack of a better term, fails you, quote unquote, it's hard because you do
Yeah.
feel like you're doing something wrong even though you're not. It's just something in your body is, or maybe it's the baby with a has a tie, or it just has a bad latch. There's so many
Right.
reasons why it could go awry. So I just feel like it's great. It's something that not a lot of people really see, the harder side of it.
Right.
um or then again, those who do see the harder, they don't really have an outlet to kind of go to because they might be kinda hiding it, then holding it into themselves because they don't want to talk about it.
Right. So for
Um,
those of you struggling, this one's for you.
yeah, so,
Or
I mean,
worried about it.
yeah, so, I mean, like, I'll start off with, I had really, like I said, a really good experience with it to begin with. I mean, I had she latched right away at the hospital. I My milk came in really fast. She didn't have a bad latch at all. She did a great job getting all that she needed. Good feeding schedule. I was able to pump really well with all the pump options. I had like three, three or four different pumps, and I had, I was overproducing at some points
Mhm.
too, which was crazy because I wasn't doing anything special to get that. There were days where I was making like 40 plus ounces in a day, and it was crazy. I didn't even know what was going on. And
Right.
I did not do one of those crazy schedules. Like everybody is saying, like, pump around the clock every 2 hours, like,
Mhm.
take lactation things, do this, do that. Like, I had told myself there was no way I was gonna do that. I
It's hard.
wanted
It's hard.
I I wanted a brain that semi-functioned as much as possible when it already isn't functioning that much postpartum, and it stressed me out to even think about it, so I was like, "I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do what works for me," which
Mhm.
was on her s kind of on her schedule. I kinda did every other feed with her, I guess, at the beginning because she was eating so frequently, but I was basically doing every 4 hours, and then I would go overnight until her night feed, and then I would pump while she was taking her bottle at night. Um and that worked pretty well for me for a while.
Mhm.
I needed to build up a milk stash because she was gonna be with my mom during the day. So I that's the only reason I kind of started pumping right away. Um, and then I went back and forth between pumping and breastfeeding when I felt I had enough of a stash built up that I could just keep adding to it, but also,
Right.
still get that experience with her. So I was able to switch back and forth on nights that Eric had her. He gave her the bottle overnight and I slept. I didn't even wake up to pump. I would just sleep through the night and then the next day, do my normal pumping schedule. And then when it was my night, I would just wake up and breastfeed her overnight so that I didn't have to get up and pump and do all that nonsense.
And you didn't have
Um,
any pain through breastfeeding at all? Like it was like magical, kind of like one
no,
of those it's perfect every time?
it was crazy to me because I always heard how it can be it's like it can be so painful, and
Mhm.
if you miss a pump you're gonna leak and you're gonna hurt and it's gonna be this and it's gonna be that, and I did not have that experience. I was very grateful to have such a great experience with it, and then it all just nosedived. It turned out I had postpartum thyroiditis, and my thyroid levels basically were so freaking sky high after I had her that my milk was overproducing. I had tons of energy. I was just like I could rule the world. I felt like there's no way I just had a baby. Like this is crazy. This is how it feels. Like I can't believe people are so tired. Like this what what's wrong with me because I had so much energy and I'm like such a slug all the time. So for me to have as much energy as I had postpartum, I was like, this is crazy. Can I be like this all the time?
Wow. What does a
Um,
doctor tell you to do with that?
well, we didn't even know because there was nothing concerning happening. Everything was going well. The only
Right.
concerning part to me was that I was losing weight rapidly. Even though
Wow.
I was, like, inhaling food like a dumpster, I was dropping weight so fast, and it was concerning to me. I did bring it up at every doctor's appointment I had with my OBs or with my primary, like, "Hey,
Mhm.
is this okay? Like, I feel like I'm literally melting away." I lost 50 pounds between, of baby weight, so, like, I
Right.
started at I think I was 178 for pre-pregnancy, and then I was 205 at my heaviest, on my due date with her, and then not even 2 months later, I was 148.
Wow.
I'd lost a ton of weight, and it just was like, while it was kind of like, "Cool, I'm melting away," I was like, "Oh my god, I'm melting away. Like, what's going on? What's wrong with me?" But they weren't concerned about it.
That's
Because everything else was
crazy.
yeah, but I think everything else was going so well. I wasn't having any side effects. I wasn't tired. I wasn't,
You weren't
my
sick.
blood levels all looked, like oh, exactly. And I don't even think we actually checked blood levels, but like everything else just seemed so good. So
Mhm.
nobody was concerned about it. Um and then just all of a sudden out of nowhere, I stopped producing milk. Just literally overnight, I went from making 36 ounces of milk a day, like consistently making
Yeah,
36
I
ounces
remember
of
you were
milk a
gonna
day.
donate some.
Yeah, I was getting ready to because I had nowhere to put it.
Right.
And overnight, literally next day, I got 15 ounces that day, doing nothing different. Nothing different.
Wow.
15 ounces that next day. The day after that, it went down to 8 ounces, and then the day after that, it went down to 4 ounces. It's just, like, every day it was cutting in half. F and at first, I thought it was my cycle coming back,
Mhm.
because I had had a slight dip in my production, when I had my cycle the previous month,
Right, but that's
and
normal. Right.
yeah, and so that did freak me out that first time, but then it came back. So I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I just have to get through this dip." Like, it's hard when you see it because 'cause you're so used to being, like, producing well, and you get a little concerned that you're not gonna be able to make enough. But I just kept pushing, mentally telling myself every day, I'd be in the pumping room at work and be like, "It's okay. It's just a couple of days. It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back." but then
How
it
does
kept
something like that make you feel, like that rapid
it's
drop? How are you feeling?
I was hiding my emotions a lot. It was I don't have depression, I don't suffer from it. I went through, like, a slight bout of it in college at one point, and in high school, you saw me go through
Mhm.
that, like, couple weeks of just, like, really, the only times I can say I've felt that kind of feeling before, um, but it was kind of getting on the verge of that again. I will never say that I had depression because I feel like that's just a label that deserves very specific, you know, I
Mhm.
don't know how to
I
explain,
hear
you know
you.
what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to say that because it's something that is very real,
You
and
were hitting the lowest of
but I
lows that
was
you've
hitting
ever
the
felt.
lowest of lows for sure, and it was very very hard for me, especially at work, because I didn't have an outlet to kind of go to. Um, I would just be alone in the pumping room and see I had them under my shirt, so I didn't even know what was happening. And then
Right.
I would take them off and be like, I just pumped for 40 minutes. I only got 2 ounces. Usually I would
Mhm.
get 15. Like, what is going on? And it was
Right.
very hard for me to see that. But again, for those couple of days, I was telling myself, it's just your cycle. It's just the dip. It's gonna come back. But then a week went by and it was still getting lower and lower and lower every time. And one morning I remember I was pumping on my car ride into to my grandmother's to drop Haley off before work because that's what I would do. I would get my morning pump in on my
Right.
drive. It was the perfect amount of time to just get me empty and I didn't have to take a break at work. And I got there and I got like 1 ounce. And that was in like a 30-minute drive.
Mhm.
And I just remember breaking down and crying to my mom. I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. I'm I feel like I'm a failure and I just don't know what to do. Like I'm getting emotional thinking about it now.
Mhm. It was a big deal.
It was just like what happened, you
Right.
know? I
No, I
was doing
remember you
so
were texting
well.
me about it.
Yeah, it was really hard, and I just had told my mom, I was like, "I have to stop. This is, like, the 5th day in a row I'm only getting 2 ounces. I have to stop. I can't keep doing this to myself. It's killing me. Like,
Right.
I'm not mentally well when I'm going through this, and I can't keep putting myself through this. I have to be happy mommy. I have to be
Right.
better, you know?" So, I decided that day, I was like, "I'm done." Then I didn't pick up my pumps again, and that was very, very hard, and I had enough breast milk to get her through a couple of days, but,
Mhm.
um, actually for a while, I had an app that I logged all of my breast milk production on.
Mhm.
I
Consumption.
made like 30 gallons of milk in
That's
my in
crazy.
my whole thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
cow.
I honestly, that's why I was a cow for Halloween. I was a cow for Halloween, and Haley
Remember.
was also a cow for Halloween. So I was like, this is gonna be great. Um,
I remember that joke.
but I I had plenty. It allowed me to do a calculator because I really wanted to get to a year of giving her breast milk. Um, so I had the calculator laid out, and I was like, basically worked out that I could give her like 8 ounces or 2 ounces a day for the remainder of her 1 year is how much I had left. Plus some. I still actually
Right.
have like 2 bags in the freezer just
I was
because
gonna
I
say, I thought you had a little freezer stash
yeah.
too.
Well, that was my freezer stash. Like with my freezer stash, I had enough to get her
Gotcha.
through like 15 months, I think it was, on 2 ounces a day. Um, and I
Wow.
still, like I said, I still have a freezer stash just in case she like gets sick or something. It does lose its nutrients after a certain time. Um, but it doesn't go bad or anything as long as it's frozen
Mhm.
really well. But anyway, I I just I switched to formula, and I was really nervous about that because of her belly. She had reflux really bad, for a
Right.
while, and but I was very grateful that she took straight to the formula we got for her, the first formula we tried, and I was like, "Great, you're sticking with that then," and it definitely helped because that uh, her taking to it so well helped me mentally because I didn't have to go through, like, her stomach bothering her or
Right.
trying to find the right thing while also going through this really tough mental strain. Um, but that was a really hard, like, 2 weeks. I didn't have and what told me that I was doing making the right decision on just stopping instead of trying to build up that,
Mhm.
trying that, round the clock schedule or lactation
Yeah.
things or all of these things, because that
Yep.
was on my mind, like, should I do that or should I continue to just move in this direction and move to the
Right.
formula? I had a really hard time, like, struggling with that, and, um, what sold it for me was that I never once leaked. I never had any clogged ducts. I didn't have any pain in my breasts at all after 2 weeks of not pumping or, like, even hand pumping at all
Yep.
just to, like, relieve.
Yep.
I had
Expression, yeah.
nothing. I had nothing, and I just was like, "That's gotta be it then." I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a
if
sign.
I was yeah, if I was meant to keep doing this, it would hurt. I would be leaking, something would still be
Mhm.
coming out, like, if I was truly meant to do this, something would be telling me that I need to be doing this. And I remember calling my mom and just sobbing to her on the phone one of the many times I did that. And she had told me, she's like, if you feel like you need to try it, then do it one more time just to ease your mind a
Mhm.
little bit more. And I was like, okay. So I did. I pulled the pumps out. I did one more pump, only got 3 ounces. And I was like, okay, that's it. But I think it did help me to close that chapter
Mhm.
knowing that was gonna be my final pump. Like, I went into that thinking, "If this goes well, I will continue. If it doesn't get what I would like to see, then this is my last one." So I had at
Right.
least in my brain that this could be my final time, and I think that really helped me close the chapter on it.
Yeah.
Um and I used the milk from that pump I gave to, um, a jeweler, and she made breast milk jewelry for me, a beautiful ring that I wear every day,
Yep.
and I it that really also helps me to just look at that and be like, "Okay, I did the right thing." Like, I nourished her for as long as I could, and she's still getting the nourishments that she
Mhm.
needs by formula. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Um, and I've never ever been, oh, you should breastfeed over formula. That's not, I don't care about that. It was just, I felt like I failed.
Yeah, I hear you.
And it was very, very, very hard for me to get through. But I mean, Eric, my husband, was huge, huge supporter, and he just held me when I cried, told me I was doing a great job, that I wasn't a failure. My mom was helpful because she actually never even got her milk when I was born.
Mhm.
She wasn't able to even try because her milk never came in. Um, so she had a whole nother perspective too that I could kind of look at. And then you were extremely helpful. All of you girls were very helpful just to talk to about it. So I got through it, but it was tough. Tough go there for a while. And that was only 4 months in. 4 months postpartum.
Wow,
So all in like the first 4 months I was doing so well and just literally overnight took a nosedive and
that's crazy how rapid it can be.
yeah. Yeah, it was tough, but having the right outlets and the right people, it helped. I don't think I would have been okay if I didn't have people I trusted enough to lean on. I
Mhm.
think that would have really sent me into a downward spiral mentally, and I didn't want that to happen, so I just allowed myself to feel and let those emotions out and call. I was like, if
Mm.
I'm feeling this way, I need to call somebody, I need to talk to somebody about it, just to try and get it off my chest. And just getting it off my chest helped a lot.
Mhm.
So, you know, started out great, ended terribly. But we're here. We got a happy, healthy baby. She loved her formula. She had Kendamil and she just loved that stuff. And
Right. And formula is a really good option. I mean, if you think about the babies in the NICU and their
right,
moms haven't gotten their milk in yet, they use formula. And
yeah.
it's the extra sensitive formula, and they are just
Mhm.
fine and they thrive. So
Exactly.
thinking about that can be helpful too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, it was never for me the, "Oh, I don't want her to have formula." No, I don't.
Right, right.
You want, if you decide, like, if your milk comes in and you're like, "I just cannot do that, that's not something I wanna do," and you would rather formula feed, more power to you. That's your
That's right.
decision. You get to decide what is best for your child and for
Mhm.
you. I have friends and family that both decided not to go forward with breastfeeding when they could have, and that's totally fine.
Mhm.
Um, it again, it was for me, it was just my choice was to try to breastfeed, and it was
Mhm.
going so well for it to just all of a sudden plummet. And it wasn't until I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism after going through thyroiditis, we just had figured out that I realized it wasn't me. I had no control over that. It's my body attacking me,
Right.
basically. Um, and I went through a whole thing too, kind of like, do I stick it out and wait to see if the medicine kicks in and helps and boosts it back up? Do I keep going and keep seeing this low number and keep hurting myself every single time that I see this tiny amount come out, not knowing if it's going to get better or not, just to possibly tank all over again? Because
Yeah.
I could just keep telling myself, oh, in 2 weeks' time, in 3 weeks' time, in a month's time, when my medicine is regulated and I'm back to like a good level, maybe I'll get a better production. Maybe. But if I don't, I'm risking hurting myself again mentally, because
Right.
maybe it doesn't do that. Maybe it doesn't get my milk supply back. And maybe I have another month of feeling like crap because I'm seeing these tiny numbers, hoping it's going to get better, but then it doesn't.
Right.
So that was a big thing that I struggled with too, talking to my mom. Like, I felt like I was giving up, but I felt like I couldn't keep putting myself through it. And it was
Mhm.
something that was very, very hard for me to decide on. And I just, in the end, decided that I just needed to mentally push myself through this hump and then be there for Haley and
Mhm.
be happy as I could be. And at the end of the day, it wasn't going to make me happy to keep doing that and keep pushing myself.
Right.
And so I just decided that, that was something I had to do for me to feel better in the long run. I just had to get through it. Um, and I'm glad that I did. I do still go back and think about, like, but what if I had let it
Mhm.
happen? But it's not good to live on those
Right.
what ifs. You have to uh push yourself to look forward and not think back, because you could just be hurting yourself more,
Right.
um trying to think of the possibilities. Um, so I just try not to do that as much as I can. And I had a good, like I said, I had a good experience to begin with. And I just try to think fondly back onto that. And then know, like, it came to an end the way it came to an end. Haley's still a happy girl, and she's still
Mhm.
sleeping like a freaking weirdo right now. And I really don't know how she's laying, like she's laying, but she's happy, she's healthy, and that's all that matters. And
That's
I
right.
I came out the other end of it. So
Good.
yeah.
That's
But you, I mean, you had a bad experience from the beginning.
I did. So like to so let me drink some water first before we really get in here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I before having Maddie, there was someone in my family that just had a baby who had a horrible breastfeeding experience. Talked about how they pushed it so hard on her, and her mom works in the hospital. She runs the NICU,
Oh,
and they were still pushing it so hard on her until my aunt had to basically open the door and say, "Get out."
yeah, leave her alone.
And she had I mean, she had a horrible infection and she was still trying, and she had to have the doctor sit and tell her, "Stop. You're not
Mm,
doing anything wrong. Stop." And I took that
yeah,
experience and I'm saying to myself, okay, so if I get to that point, I'm going to tell them I'm not doing it. I'm done.
right.
I don't care. It's not going to be a
Yeah.
problem for me. And you say
Mhm.
that,
Yep.
and then you have all the hormones that come right
Uh-huh.
afterwards too.
And,
I mean, let me
like,
put my hormones in the perspective of they came to take pictures of my daughter and I paid like $300 for those pictures. I
I
was that
same.
hormonal.
We okay,
Oops.
but you know what's
Don't do
funny?
it.
Do you know what's funny? Is that Eric was the one that was like, "We're buying these photos."
Brad
Like,
just
we
sat in
got
the corner and was going like this. But he let me
we
because he knew. He was like, I'm not arguing with you. You just gave me my child.
right. We took those pictures and Eric looked at them and he's like, "Well, we're obviously buying these pictures." And I was like,
It
"That
was the
sounds good to
video that
me."
told me. But then I texted
Oh
it to
my
you, and
god,
I
they're
remember
so good.
telling you guys, don't do it. It's not worth
It's
it. Because I
it's
was like,
worth
the
it.
next baby, you can come take pictures in the hospital. It's fine. It wasn't
It's
even
worth
that
it.
professional. Like it, it
See,
could
I
have
had a
been
great
done.
my pictures, like, came out so good. The
They were
photographer we
good.
had was amazing, and I was like, "Worth every penny." Anyway, continue.
That's my fault. Woo, in a circle. But anyways,
Anyways,
so again, I was the first out of everybody to have
in
my
our friend
baby.
group, yeah.
And so I didn't have anybody to really talk to about it or
Mhm.
relate to. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, if I tell them about these things, I'm going to scare them and I'm going to ruin their experience. And that's
No.
seriously, that's what ran through my
Yeah.
head. And I'm the biggest thing with me is wanting to make people happy, make people
Yeah.
comfortable. I'm a people pleaser all the way. I will
Mhm.
hurt everyone that tries to hurt all my friends. Like that,
Yeah.
you can't escape me. Um,
No. In a good
sorry,
way.
pin that in there. But so when Maddie first latched, it hurt really
Mhm.
bad. In my eyes, or in my eyes, in my head, I was like, okay, they said it would hurt. I mean, I'm basically like
It's not
openings
comfortable.
up and pushing
Yeah.
milk out. That doesn't sound
Yeah.
like the most pleasant experience. So maybe it's just this one
Yeah.
time. And I was like going like this, and my mom, who was there, and I had a doula there, and my nurse Alexis was amazing, and she was like, just get the colostrum out, and then we'll try different positions. We can get a lactation consultant. And in my head, I'm like, oh God, please, please, just make this not feel the way that it's feeling right now.
Yeah.
We tried, I remember the football pose, they tried the one tuck under pose, the pillow under pose. I'm going through all these poses, and each time I give you a new
It's like
pose
yoga.
it was a different lactation consultant. So
Okay.
I was constantly bombarded.
Yeah.
And they mean well. They mean well.
They
Um,
do, but they
but
are very
I
overwhelming.
started having so much pain that I would hide it because everybody was my family's so big, everyone was trying to come in and see everyone and keep seeing Maddie. And I don't even know. It was a blur at one point.
Mhm.
It was just I remember the first night with her, she was laying in her little crib that she hated, and Brad was asleep, and I could not go to sleep because I could not stop crying. I was like, why?
Yeah.
This isn't right. Like, do I tell them
Yeah.
no? Do I keep trying? Am I failing? And then, of course, like every 2 hours, they'd come in because I had hypertension. So they had to keep checking my blood pressure and
Right.
making sure everything was okay, that my heart rate was fine, because of all my other family history and things like that. So I was not really getting any rest. And every time they came in, I had somebody else asking me,
Mhm.
what do you want to try next? And I'm getting emotional now because I did struggle with depression growing up,
Mhm. Right.
and I felt myself slipping, and it was scary because I was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm a new mom. Like, I know I'm extra hormonal right now. I know I'm really emotional, but like, this isn't right. Like, what am I
Right.
doing?" And your automatic thought when you go through all of that and you've most of your life blamed yourself for so many things and took it out on yourself,
Mm.
when you get back to that, it's so easy to slip back into it. And so I
Yeah.
slipped back into it. The second day, it was, I realized when I went to take my first shower, which fun time, everyone,
Oof.
um, because I also tore at a
Yeah,
second-degree tear, so
I
that
had
was
to do
fun.
mine
Uh,
with the C-section, and I was
yeah,
like, I
I
can't
can't
even stand
imagine.
up straight.
I don't know how anyone does it, but,
Everyone talks about the first shower
my
after having the baby is,
right?
like, so magical, and I'm like, I don't think anything about that process was
I
magical.
cried more
I
than the
was like
water that came out of the shower
honestly,
head.
it's like, I can't I'm like, I just wanna get out. Like, yes, it's nice being
Yeah,
clean, but, like, just get me
but,
out. Like,
my mom went in with me because I was like, "I think I'm gonna like, I need to tell someone," and
talk
she
to
knew
somebody.
something was wrong. Everyone else was so infatuated. My dad also
Right.
knew. My dad knew, but
Yeah,
he
your
didn't know
parents are
how to
very
ask
intuitive.
me. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's
we
hard,
went
that's hard.
into the shower and I lost it. I told her, "Mom, I can't even like touch my nipples. Like, I mean, nothing can be near them. It hurts." And we realized I was having blood spots already
Mhm.
on day two.
Mm. Mm.
Um, And so we had another lactation consultant come in, talk to me about how that's normal. She might have a tie. So they did a
Mhm.
second check because they do it right away, but they did a second one and said she has a slight tie. It's
Mhm.
very little. It's not going to affect her speech. It's not something we have to look into having surgery on. But it could be what's causing the problem.
Causing
And
right.
then the lactation consultant also said, but it also could be you. And I will never forget that. And I went,
Wow.
so it's me. And I was like,
Bitch,
okay, so
are
what
you
what
kidding
do I
me?
do? I know. And so I kept trying. They kept pushing these different groups on me that I could go and visit, which I definitely could have, but I was so
Yeah.
depressed at this point and hating being a mom because I
Yeah.
couldn't do this for my child. And again,
Couldn't
I had
yeah.
all these other stories of people going through the same things, and like that person in my family. And
Right.
I was not making that connection at the time. And
No,
I
it's
remember
hard to.
my mom was telling me, Sam, you can stop. Like it's fine. But it was my mom telling me that. So I don't know if I should have listened, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I'm also a stubborn person, but in
Yeah.
the time I was extra stubborn, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like
Well, you're
adamant.
determined.
I was adamant on
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this to work. I
Yeah.
have milk. I can get it out. I just need to make it so it's not painful. And so I
Yeah.
did start pumping right when we got home. I got the Spectra right off the Buy Nothing group that we have. And
Mhm.
I don't even know, I don't understand how you know if it fits right or not. Like I'm still trying to figure that out. But
Yeah, it's
I was
weird.
able to get milk out and it wasn't super painful at first. It took some time because again, I didn't know it yet, but I was starting to get an infection.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize till one day I looked in the milk and I saw blood, like a good
Mhm.
amount of blood.
Yeah.
I also couldn't, I had to walk around shirtless for most of the time, but even that caused me pain. Because if there
Yeah.
was a slight breeze, I immediately started sobbing. That's how bad
Yeah.
I was pushing myself and
Well,
hurting.
and, like and nipples are already so sensitive, and
Right.
then you add on, like, trying to breastfeed
Pulling.
alone is so like, especially those first few days, it's, like, it's raw and it hurts, and
Right.
then you add an infection into that, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine
Um,
that pain.
it it got bad. I couldn't shower. I couldn't do anything. And every time Maddie came near me, I'd flinch and I
Mhm.
felt horrible. So every time she got hungry, I cried. It like
Yeah.
became a trigger for me. So at that point, I we had her I will never forget this one. It was her pediatrician appointment, and they made me take off my shirt and show them how I breastfeed instead of just
Mhm.
saying stop. And I needed that at the time, and they didn't. And I remember being kind of upset about it later because you see a
Yeah.
mom breaking down, bleeding through her bra in pain,
Yeah.
and you
And you're
say,
gonna
okay,
make
try
her do
again.
it.
And at
I
that
think
point, this is when even Brad was getting really upset at himself because he was not telling me anything. And I don't think he knew how or like if that's his place. Like, I feel like that's really
right.
hard as a guy because they know, again, how important this is to us.
Yeah.
But it was that day that he saw me immediately break down when he told me that she was hungry again because I wasn't
Mhm.
feeding her enough. I remember telling earlier she was jaundiced, she was small, she wasn't growing
Right.
properly because I wasn't giving her enough milk. And so then
Mm.
again, my fault.
That's what it
We're
feels like.
back. We're back into that
It's just
again.
an endless
And it's a
cycle.
double whammy. And so that's when I called my aunt and my mom, double call. And they talked about how with the NICU they used the sensitive formula. And so I started mixing it with the bloody milk.
The
It wasn't
strawberry
that bloody.
milk.
I
It's
say it
called
now, but
strawberry milk.
it was not that bad anymore. Um, I started mixing it in and then trying bottles. And Brad
Mm.
looked at me and said, "You're done." He said,
Mhm.
"Sam, you're done. Stop. Your
Yeah.
mom said it, now I'm telling you. I can't let you do this. You can't
Yeah.
do this to yourself."
Yeah.
And I remember being like, "Okay." And
Thank
I
God someone
cried
told me. Like, I
all
just
night.
needed somebody to tell me.
And I feel back to my mom who's constantly telling me, "Sam, you don't need to do this. It's fine. Like,
Right.
stop." But then
But
I
it is
hearing it
different.
from somebody else and then later crying in front of Nora, who's an OB at the Johns Hopkins that I am very grateful for. I'm looking seeing her now because of how much she helped
Yeah.
me. And she said, "Sam, if you're not able to be there for your baby, you need to think about what is causing that. And if it is
Right.
breastfeeding, then stop. It's
Right.
okay to stop. People don't even breastfeed and their babies are fine, like we were just talking about. But when you're
Exactly.
going
Yep.
through all of this, the other things
Mhm.
aren't registering because all you're hearing is alarm
Mhm.
bells. What is wrong with me? And so for people
Absolutely.
to actually hear that, and like that's why I'm glad we're talking about this because someone listening might be going through it. It's okay to stop. If you can't be there for your baby,
Yeah.
if you are creating a negative feeling toward your child, not resentment, but just the feeling of almost being frightened of having to feed them, then you're not able to
Right.
take care of yourself. You got to stop.
To take care of
And
them.
it's
Absolutely.
okay to stop. And I finally
Absolutely.
felt that and I kept trying to pump. And then when I couldn't pump anymore, I was like, okay, put more formula in. And I was okay
Yep.
with it. Now,
Yeah.
the extra whammy for me is I wasn't done feeling like shit yet. Um, so Madison did struggle with formula. She
Yeah.
stopped pooping. She became,
Mm.
she was constantly in pain. She
Oh.
finally was gaining weight, which was great. And actually, I apologize. I didn't start with, she brought up I could do sensitive. I didn't start with the sensitive right away. I did
Okay.
regular. Then I switched to sensitive after calling my aunt, telling her about her having her problems, but it still
Mhm.
continued. So that's when they were like, well, you can always buy someone else's milk. You can always do this. And I'm like, if only
Try
I could,
donor
if
milk.
only
Yeah.
I had more. And then started going back down that spiral
Back down
again.
the pipe. Yeah.
And I remember I got so bad that I was realizing, oh my God, I'm getting as depressed as I was
Mhm.
when I was in high school. Like
I
not where I
was
was
really
gonna
worried about you at
hurt
the time.
myself, but I like wasn't talking to people. I wasn't taking care of myself. Not
Yeah.
that I wasn't taking care of Maddie because she was my everything.
Right.
I took care of
Absolutely.
her, but the second she was asleep, I was like, I hate everything. Like
Yeah.
I hate the life. I
No,
hate,
I
and poor
remember
Brad
being
was back
extremely
at work,
worried.
so I was hiding and I was able to hide.
Yeah.
And that's when I snapped myself out of it. And it was actually my dad. So, I hope I don't get emotional, but it was my dad that was like, "Sam, you're a great mom. You take care of people. This is your job. You're so good at it, but when are you going to take care of yourself?" And I
Yeah.
remember he said, like, "I will help take care of you.
Mhm.
Let me show you what you're capable of as a mom."
Yeah.
And so that was, oh God, here we go. That was
It's
a
okay.
very big change, and things really did turn around. And so I really thank my dad because of that. And so if he's here listening, it hasn't even been 2 months since his passing, but he's still, I still think about that a lot. I mean, I really
Yeah.
do,
It
because
takes that
he
sometimes.
reminds me of, I'm a good mom. I
Right.
made the decision to turn it around, and as hard as that is, and as hard as that was, I kicked ass, and I'm
Yes, you
okay with
did.
saying that. And so when everybody was texting about how great theirs were, how, oh my gosh, I produced this, they latched on so fast, or it took a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was so quiet because I also was like, well, if I tell them, then we're going to go into a whole spiral about all the things I went through, and then they're going to feel
Yeah.
bad, or I'm going to do this.
And you
So
also
I
didn't
kept
need that.
quiet for like, what, a year? It was only when I saw you were
Well,
having a hard time that I opened up about it.
yeah. You might have
That's a
kept
year
quiet with them
later.
because you had your own group chat before
Hmm.
me.
Right.
So I don't know like how that all kind of went down, but when I
Yeah.
came into it, that was like 4 months. And then when
Yep.
I started opening up about how I was having a hard time, this is when you kind of like came in
Yep. And I told you it's okay
separately.
to
I think
stop.
you messaged me separately too
I
and like
did. I did.
just had me yeah, it's like I said, we at the beginning, it's a very touchy subject for some,
It
but it's
is.
very important to talk about the bad as well as the good. I mean,
Right.
it's important to talk about the good too. It's important to talk about every aspect of it. Something just got in
Right.
my eye.
But
Ooh,
like, I think, especially with my second pregnancy, because everyone asked me, with everything that's happened, are you going to do it again?
mhm.
And I've decided, so I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to try. But I told Brad, the second I am in pain, the second I look like I am going to spiral, you tell me to stop. And you
Yeah.
tell the doctors, if you send another lactation consultant in here, I'm shutting the door in your face. Like
Yeah.
I told him, I need you to
Mm.
be my person. And
Yeah.
having somebody ready for that
At the go.
conversation
Absolutely.
before you get in all those emotions, because like I
Yeah.
said, I thought I was prepared. I thought I would be okay
Yeah.
with saying, get the hell out. Like, this
You
isn't for
never
me.
know. Yeah, you never
I
really
didn't
know.
realize. So, if anyone's listening that's about to go through this, having a person designated to your choices, kind of like your birth plan,
Yep.
have them ready to step in and be your guard. It sounds
Uh-huh.
ridiculous, but with the amount
No,
of
it
people
doesn't.
that come in your room, depending on the hospital, John
Yeah.
Hopkins, um, and they try to help, and they sound like they're trying to help, but it becomes so much when you're really struggling. Have a
Because to
person to
them,
be there to step in and say, stop.
right.
You're okay.
Because to
Stop.
them, that it's this is their job. Their job
Right.
is to get you to do this. And it's not like they're
Mm-hmm.
making money. Oh, it's not like they're making money off of you,
Right.
but their job is solely to help with lactation.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't come a lot of times. There are some out there who are completely opposite than this, but they usually just they come in with that one mindset like this is my job, this is what I'm going to do. They're not
Right.
thinking about what if that mom doesn't want to, what if the mom is
Mm-hmm.
having X, Y, and Z. Like they're just going in like, well, we're just going to make it happen. Well,
Right.
you can't always just make it happen. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are things sometimes that stop it from happening, and it's just is what it is, unfortunately,
Right.
sometimes, and other times it's great. I mean, I
And
would even
to each
like
person their own, healthy baby is all that
exactly,
matters. That's it.
exactly,
That's the end
fed
result for every single person. Healthy
precisely,
baby.
like, it drives me insane when I see people, they're like, "Breast is best." Okay, fed is best. Like,
Right.
like, if you can't breastfeed, you can't breastfeed. Like, some people literally cannot. like my
Mhm.
mom, again, her milk never even came in. So she was literally unable to, like, okay, if you're telling me that breast is best, I guess like she was just gonna let me starve because she couldn't do that. Like
Or you're not get or
it's
the people
just
that say you're not getting enough nutrients. I had some lady try to talk about how their child was smarter and more developed because of
mm,
breast milk. This is a
no.
first grader at the time, and
Yeah.
other kids that were struggling with behaviors, she said, "Oh, I bet that they were bottle fed. I bet they're formula fed."
You know what? I
And
can't.
there's
I
arguments about
can't.
that, and I'm dying over it, and I'm laughing because some I don't want to embarrass them, so I'm not gonna say their name, was
Yeah.
adamant on they were breastfed. This is why they're so smart. This is who I
Mhm.
am. Is because of this. And their mom chimed in and said, "Honey, you really think you got anything out of these? You were formula fed."
There you go.
And I loved it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't understand the argument. Again,
It's
healthy mom, healthy baby. That's the important part. That's it.
that's the end goal
That's it.
is just happy, healthy. That's it. That's all
That's
that
it.
matters. And however you're able to get to that, then good on you. I'm glad you were
That's
able to
right.
get to it. However it was, whatever path it is that you had to take to get there, that's all that matters. And
Hmm.
I just hope that you have good people in your corner that like we did to push us through the bad parts.
Right.
If you have any, because again, there are plenty of people who don't have any problems at all. I know
Right.
a friend who was able to perfectly breastfeed her kids
Hmm.
for
Same.
almost 2 years, both of them. Like, great, good for you. Like, I'm so glad that that worked out for you. It's just not the case for a lot of people. And
Right.
I just feel like they don't get enough credit or get to really tell their stories or hear those stories enough. So I hope that this conversation kind of
Right.
helped aid those who are going through it or who did go through it
Right.
to know that they're definitely not alone in that struggle, and hopefully this will help somebody get through it if they're going through it right now.
And if they are,
Or
you can email us. We'll be your people in the
yeah,
corner.
email
I'll
us,
show up at a
message
hospital,
us.
FaceTime me, and I'll tell them to get out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like, we're everywhere. We're happy to talk to you guys
Hmm.
about our own experiences, go in more in depth. I mean, I feel like we went pretty in depth here, but
We
you
did, but it was
know,
worth it because, like, at the beginning, when I said, I feel like most people, you only hear about positive experiences. And
yeah,
so for us to talk about it and hopefully for people to understand that they're not alone in that
yeah,
situation or how they felt like they were a bad mom, there's nothing wrong with those moments of those or
no,
those lows that we both felt, as long as you're taking
absolutely.
the time to realize if you need support. And we can be
Absolutely.
support. We are here.
Absolutely. That's what we're here. We're a big community. Hopefully we'll be able to grow and get even more of a community going here. But
Right.
all right, well, let's move into our product before we have to end that here. Get on a high note. Had a lot of hard talks here today.
I'm
We
sure
wanted
we're
to
not
talk
done.
about yeah, no. So we wanted to talk about our monitors this evening.
Yeah.
Um, and I know I love my monitor. And what do you have?
So I actually have it right here. I have
Yes.
infant optics. You can see my little, I call her Frankenstein when she leaves her arms out like that. Um, so this is one that you don't like have it connected to your phone or anything. It's just a
Mhm.
simple one that you have a little plug in. I love it. The company is amazing. So the Infant Optics, I've contacted twice because sometimes it dies so fast if you don't leave it plugged in. And the one time my cord like twisted and like stopped working, they sent me a new one
Hmm.
within 2 days.
Oh, nice.
I am obsessed. I mean, this is great. She loves that I can talk to her through it, and she's
Yeah.
now comfortable because before I think she thought there was a demon in her room when I
Yeah.
talked to her.
Well,
She cried a couple times
yeah.
until I had to walk in and show her. But
It's me. It's me.
I would I can't even imagine the stress if I didn't have this. So to think at one point people weren't able to do this and just had to peek through windows and look through
I
the
think about
doors.
it all the time. Like, I can't
But
believe
I love it. I don't want the
I
ones that connect to Wi-Fi. because of all the horror
Mhm.
stories you hear
Yeah,
and things like that. So I am very grateful for this one. Love the company, love how fast they respond, and it was not very expensive. And I have two.
that's good.
One for travel, one for home.
Yeah.
What do you
See,
have? Because yours is on
I
your phone.
actually I have one that connects to Wi-Fi, but it does have a chip in it to block
Okay.
unwanted people from being able to get into it. You have to have a passcode to get onto it from your device. You have to be originally connected to the Wi-Fi on the same Wi-Fi.
Gotcha.
So I feel good about it because it does come with that hardwired chip to block anybody from being able to get into it. But I have the MICU, MIKU, and I wanted this one specifically because it hovers perfectly over top. You can see I got it on the iPad right now, but hovers perfectly over top. And those little
The
bars
Running
right
Man.
here, those are oh yeah, she's doing something. But this down here is her breathing.
Oh,
These
wow.
blue bars. And there's nothing on her. It just picks up on her chest
And
rise and fall.
it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, it's really good. Um, and if it picks up that there's no movement, like aka no breathing, it will sound a very loud alarm to
Wow.
hey, there's no movement. Like I'm not picking up on anything here. And it will go off like it's done it a handful of times where it's gone off in there hasn't been a problem, but it's because she's like balled up in a corner and it literally can't see her. And so I'm like, you're doing this to me, stop it. Like stretch out a little
She's
bit.
trying to get
Like
you to come get her.
exactly, but yeah, she like gets in a corner where it just can't pick her up, it'll go off.
Yeah.
But I'd rather it do that than not go off when
Yeah.
it should have.
Oh, I
But
have
yeah,
the
and
other one.
even if she's laying on her stomach, it still picks up on it because it'll pick up
Right.
on the chest, the back. So I love it. I can take pictures from within the app. There's like a camera mode, so I can save pictures of her. Um, so yeah, it's great. It really wasn't that expensive, and I got it with a FSA. So
Nice.
yeah, you can get it with FSA or HSA, and then it connects to your phone, your iPad, and you need the Wi-Fi to originally connect to it, but then from there on out, as long as you've been connected to it, you don't need to be on the Wi-Fi to watch. So, like if she's here with my in-laws when I'm at work and I know she's down for a nap, I can just check in on her
That's really
because
cool.
yeah, so it's really nice for me because then I can just like kind of look in. But again, stressing hardcore, you cannot connect to it without being originally connected to the Wi-Fi and having the passcode to like get connected to the device while on the Wi-Fi. So
Makes
if
sense.
yeah, so it's very secure. But yeah, I love it. It's great. I love being able to have it in my pocket wherever I go. And then I do have the VTEX with the camera.
Mhm.
I have one of those for travel.
Okay.
Because it's harder to travel with this one. I have the
Gotcha.
travel stand for it. But the travel stand base is like 15 pounds, so it's so heavy.
Oh
Um,
god.
yeah, like if I ever go somewhere for a longer stretch of time, I'll probably take it. But at this point, I don't really need to have the breathing anymore. I could stop. Like I pay the membership fee to have the breathing on it
Mhm.
still. But I could stop paying the membership fee and then I just don't get the breathing, but I still can watch her. Um, but yeah, I like the VTEX for travel. I wish they
Okay.
zoomed out a little bit more. They kind of zoom in really, really close, and that makes it hard when you want to see the whole crib.
Mhm.
I have to hang it from like a very, very high point, like vantage point to get the whole
I gotcha.
pack and play because she just sleeps in a pack and play when we go. Um, but I do like it. I just wish it zoomed out. It had a better zoom out feature because it's just really, really zoomed in.
Okay.
But
No,
other
yours
than
is
that,
cool.
very good. Yeah. So
Sweet.
all right. Well, we'll let everybody get out of here. don't forget that you can find us at The Best Mom Pod on Instagram. You can email us any funny stories, crazy stories about your
Or
kids,
if
about
you
you
need
when you were a
support.
kid. If you need support, whatever it may be, to thebestmompod@gmail.com. And I hope that your coffee stays strong.
And your patience lasts long.
Yeah. We will see you guys next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.